Welcome to Fresh Off the Set. I'm Kari Hawker-Diaz.
And I'm David Osmond.
And I'm Laura Murray. Thank you so much for listening today. We love doing this.
We do love doing these. Okay, so I have a question for both of you. How did you meet your spouses originally?
Okay. David, why don't you take the floor?
You got an hour? No. I met my wife in the last place on earth I'd ever meet. I thought I was going to meet my soulmate, love of my life, best friend. It was in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
On New Year's Day at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Oh my gosh.
This doesn't sound real. This sounds like a Hallmark movie.
This is crazy. Yeah, so long story short, I went to support the Utes at the Fiesta Bowl down in Arizona, and I lived in LA at the time. So coming back through, I tried to catch a flight out. It was New Year's Day. Tried to catch the flight out of Vegas to get to LA as fast as possible. No flights available. Everything was booked. Couldn't get one flight on any airline. So my buddies are like, hey, let's just go out tonight. We'll go to the Hard Rock. We're going to go hang out and go dance, do whatever. We'll leave at 4 in the morning. We'll get you to LA by 7 for the stuff I had to do. Oh, yeah, let's do it. So we go out. And the middle of a dance floor, it's no longer there. It's called Body English.
I remember that club. I spent many nights there.
The music's pumping. You know,
Body English.
CO2, and
He's painting
on the dance
picture
floor
beautifully.
Is where I see this beautiful girl. We connect eyes, and I'll go into it later. I'm taking a lot of time, but I got her number. Well, she denied me 3 times. I wouldn't give me your number. I came at the last time. I said, look, I don't know if you're with a guy. I won't pull my phone out, make a scene. Just say it, and I'll memorize it. She goes, yeah, right. 326-9558. I went, I got it. And I memorized it, and I went and I texted her again, and she still denied me for like 3 months, but we finally went on a date. And as soon as we connected outside that element, it was game over.
That's awesome.
Sold.
We love Val. Oh, Val,
We
that's so
That was a
cool.
long story. Sorry. How did you meet
that's great.
your
That's
husband?
so
It
cool.
must be a David thing because I denied my husband's name is David, and I said no 3 times to him.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. So
We deserve it.
David and I met through essentially mutual friends. We both do theater, and through that we had a lot of mutual friends. So I had known him for a while, and then he asked me out, and I said no. Then he asked me out again, and I said no. And then bless his sweet heart, he was like, oh, actually, this event that I wanted to take you to is actually this day. Can you go? And I ghosted him. It was so mean. Ghosted him, didn't respond, and my birthday happened to be the next week. And he was like, happy birthday. Still like doing his darndest.
Aw.
A couple months went by. We didn't talk at all. I bumped into him after a show, and he asked me out. He was like, I think we should just be better friends. Let's go on a friend date. And I remember leaving, and I told my mom, I was like, oh, we're just going to lunch as friends. And she was like, as friends? Oh, that's good. That's good.
She knew.
And so we went, and the funny thing was, since I thought it was a friend lunch,
Yeah.
I ordered 2 things because I thought I'd be paying for myself. And he paid for it, and I didn't finish the food. I was just like trying to make a point that I knew it was a friend lunch, so I ordered a ton to pay for myself.
Is that what you do?
I guess.
did. It was
It's like, this girl can eat.
It's a weird Allura
Like her.
quirk, okay? We all know I'm a little quirky. We've gathered
And
that
we
as
love
much.
you.
So, and then I gave him a chance, and it was the best thing I've ever done.
That's cool.
You two are magical
awesome.
together.
Oh,
I mean,
thank
like
you.
absolutely meant to be.
All right, Kari, what about you?
Okay, so Nick and I met, we were in acting class together. He was 20, I was 21. I was married at the time to somebody else. And so we were friends. We were in class probably for 4 or 5 years together. And then I got divorced, and we went on one date to P.F. Chang's. Nick and I did. P.F. Chang's. And then he moved away to San Francisco to go to an acting school. I kind of did my own thing, went on dates with other red flags, which was great for me. And then...
Man, I could make a scarf with all the red flags I dated before.
Seriously, I have many. And then Nick moved back, and then in 2009, we ran into each other on a movie set. That's how I got started in the industry. I was in acting, and I had a boyfriend at the time, new boyfriend, and Nick and the boyfriend I had went off and talked to this one girl the whole night. So Nick and I were just like catching up, and I ended up breaking it off with the boyfriend a few months later, and then Nick and I started dating, never looked back, and we've been together for 13 years, and then June 29th this year, it's our 10-year anniversary.
Yay, that's coming up.
So it took a
great.
minute for us, but then we
Congratulations.
figured it out.
I love
That's
it.
good.
It's fun.
We love Nick. He's the best.
He
It's all
is
about
wonderful.
timing.
It is.
It's the right
It is
time,
all
the right
about
person.
timing.
Absolutely.
Yep. And
Totally
today's
right.
interview, I actually talked with Tammi Pickle. She has a family-owned business. It's an international matchmaking agency, and it's so interesting to hear how matchmaking works and how you can find the love of your life.
Oh, let's take a listen.
Through her help.
What's
Should
the
we
name
listen?
of her agency? Do you remember?
It's her name is Tammi Pickle, and her agency is Elite Communications, and she is awesome. Should we give it a listen?
I can't wait.
Okay. I am so excited to introduce our guest of the day today. It's Tammi Pickle with Elite Connections. Tammi, it's great to talk with you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be with you.
We are so excited too. Okay, first of all, tell us about who you are and about your career.
So I am a matchmaker. I own Elite Connections matchmaking agency. My mom actually started the company 28 years ago, and it's a funny story. Before she started this company, she was single, dating. She joined a matchmaker. She brought home some videotapes, and she met her husband. And so she just thought, what a great way of meeting people. So then she started her own company just a few months later. And I grew up in the business. I was young, but I went to school. I got my degree in psychology. And then I really fell in love with what I do when I started helping the clients and matching them. And that's how I knew I wanted to help people. So I've been a matchmaker ever since.
That is so cool. Okay, I want to talk about being a matchmaker, because when I think of that, I think of like almost like TV game show type of like, matching and dating games and things. But this really exists. Can you tell us what it is and how do you help people?
So we meet everyone personally. We meet our clients, get to know each and every person, what they're looking for, what's important to them. We match according to preferences, and we show pictures and profiles to each one of our clients. We have a very, very large database, tens of thousands of clients in our database. And then once both people agree to meet each other, then we set up the match for the two of them. We get feedback on the dates, and we relay, if someone is interested in seeing that person again or not interested, we kind of play middleman and help them both out, giving dating advice and all those types of things, and then just continuously making one match after the next until we find our clients the right person.
Wow. Okay, so essentially it's matching couples together that you feel are good for each other, right?
Right. And we work for just busy professionals, really all ages come to us, but typically they don't want to do the online or app, or they want that route, and they just want a better way of meeting, pre-screened. We check ID, background search, kind of vet and verify all of our clients are who they say they are. So people appreciate that, and just for busy professionals, they just want to meet the right person, and they put their dating in our hands, and we make them appropriate matches.
Yes, I wouldn't think about a background search if you're dating someone. That might be a little bit hard to come up with yourself. So that's why we can have people like you look into all of that. Okay, if someone wanted to be matched, where would you start, and what kind of information do we need to share?
I just kind of get to know someone, what they're all about, who they are, where they came from, where they are now, what they're looking for, their past relationships. Just really try to get to know each and every person. And then I do know all my clients that I'm matching with each other. So I get a sense, I get a good feeling about a good match for someone, but I always, relay that match. People, I want them to have the opportunity to see photos and read a bit about that person, feel like there's going to be something in common, and then, then we set it up together. But I do meet everyone, or my team meets everyone personally or virtually, and COVID helped us with that we do a lot of virtual meetings now, so I can meet people across the country. It's been much easier. We always used to do in person, but now, we can get a feeling, even virtually, and be able to see the person face to face, and get an idea that way, who, get to know them better and who we feel would be a good fit that way.
And what kind of information are you finding is like most important thing to match someone up? Is it just depending on each person and what is a priority for themselves?
Yeah, I would feel that whatever is important to that person. So let's say they're religious. They may want someone with a similar background. They may be political and they want someone similar minded. They may be very active and into sports and things and they want someone similar. So I would say some of those things are important to people if they want to have children, if they want to date somebody that already has children, they want to be married. Those are some things that come up. So similar background, interests and hobbies, the things that they'll have in common together. Those are some of the major things that I see.
Sure. Now it's, in this day and age, it's hard to date. It's hard to find somebody. And how often do you feel like this actually does work? I don't know if you have like a percentage of how many matches that actually go through. And do you have any, like a success story that you can share without naming names of how it happened from like the beginning and maybe they ended up getting married and it works out? It's just so fascinating.
Yeah. So, I mean, our company has an 86% success rate that will
Wow.
introduce our clients. Yeah, that they end up 6 months or longer. And typically 6 months or longer, they kind of end up together, staying together. But we do have a pretty good success rate because I think people that come to us, they are a bit more serious. They are investing in a matchmaker. So they're really giving that person we're matching them with, all of their energy and, they're pretty serious. So we do have a good success rate. And I mean, I have had so many good, successful relationships come about, but one that I can think of that it was a kind of a struggle in the beginning. I had two people into meeting each other. He was actually in Vegas. She was in LA, but he came to LA all the time. So at first she's like, no, I will never live in Vegas. I would never date somebody that lives in Vegas. And I'm like, no. He could live anywhere. He's awesome. I just know you two will be perfect together. You have to meet him. And she's like, oh my God, Tammi. Okay, I'll do it for you. And so I said, okay, great. So they ended up meeting and they both called me like the day after and they were like, oh my gosh, it was great. I'm so glad you talked me into it. And they ended up together and they just got married and I believe they're trying to have a baby.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So,
it does work. Absolutely.
It does work, but it's so funny when you have to push somebody into it and you just have a sense, a feeling. And then it works out. And I told you so. No, I love it. I love what I do. I love being able to help make people happy and help people find love. It's why I keep doing what I do.
Well, I can hear it in your voice of how happy you are and that you do love what you do. And it's almost like sometimes in dating we can get in our own way where we think immediately, oh, that isn't going to work for this or this or this reason. And you prove to them why it does work. So that's so cool.
Yeah,
Tammi, have you?
It's almost. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say it's almost like having a friend in your corner. Like if you're app dating, you get ghosted and you never know why that person didn't call you back after the first date or wanted to see you again. I feel like I'm friends with my clients and I can relay things that may come up on dates that turn someone off. And I can let them know and I can help them in the future. So I kind of feel like I'm, introducing my friends to each other, but I'm not going to get upset if you don't like my friend. We'll introduce you to another friend. But I think that's why it's so fun and it's so rewarding. And I'm able to help people every day.
Yeah. Oh, that's super rewarding. And have you seen your business change with the evolution of online dating? It's like very different now.
It is very different. I think it's matchmaking or going to a matchmaker is more accepted than it used to be. It was kind of taboo, like, oh, I can't find a date. I have to go to a matchmaker. Like, that seems ridiculous. But I think now everybody is kind of doing the apps and online. And I feel like it's even more accepted because maybe people that it's not working for them or it's too much work out of their day to sift through these hundreds of profiles and talking to somebody for weeks or months. It might get old for some people. So then they may decide to come to a matchmaker because we're doing all that vetting and we're setting up the matches and we're just doing, one at a time. And so people are, taking these dates pretty seriously. So I feel like if people are serious, then they're coming to a matchmaker, and it's definitely very open, and people are talking about it, and they're talking to their friends about it, And maybe 10 years ago, they would like keep it very hush hush and they wouldn't share with friends how they met someone. But now, they're pretty open about it.
Sure. Well, that actually brings up my next question. If someone's a little embarrassed or they're a little shy about using a dating agency, what advice do you have for them?
I would say, you're not going to know unless you try. And if you don't want to try the matchmaker route, try the app route, see how that goes. But you got to put yourself out there. You're not going to meet someone if you don't. If you're sitting on the couch and just wishing for a date, it's not going to work. You really do have to put yourself out there and pick up a new hobby, start going out with girlfriends, just getting out in the community, or trying the apps and try a matchmaker. And you can't meet someone unless you put yourself out there and start trying. And, looking into a company like ours, it's only going to be a positive experience. Getting yourself out there, practice. Sometimes it's like getting out there and dating takes some practice, and that's just what you got to do. And whether it's app or online or with a matchmaker, but getting yourself out there and meeting new people.
So true. You never know until you try. Super good advice. Okay, what's the difference between using a dating agency and using a dating app?
Well, we do all that background and screening. We check IDs, background searches, verify they are who they say they are, and they do what they say they do for a living, and they're not criminals, and they're not living in their grandma's basement. I mean, on an app, anyone could be saying anything about who they are.
Oh gosh, that's true.
Where they live, or they're married, or they're saying they're an attorney, but they are not. So people can be deceitful, and it's a scary world out there. So you got to be careful who you're letting into your lives.
Absolutely.
And you have to do that research for yourself, but we do all that research for you. So it's difference there, and we're meeting everyone. We're making sure they look like their photos. I don't know how many times people have said they go on a date and the picture was 20 years old, and they looked nothing like those photos, and they're just being deceitful. So we're making sure that nobody's getting scammed and nobody's getting lied to, and so we're doing all that work.
Oh, that feels so much better. It feels just so much smarter to use a dating agency. You just made that very clear. Yeah. Okay. Very, very clear. And as a matchmaker, what tips do you have, Tammi, for people who are looking for their life partner?
Being open-minded. I think we kind of get stuck in this type that we've dated or that we want, and then you don't look outside of that type. And I feel like it's really important to be open-minded and maybe meet someone that you wouldn't normally think is your type, and see if there's a connection in person, and make a friend with someone. And I always say also just be positive and upbeat and happy, and be in a good place in your life. If you're kind of in a bad way and you're hung up on your ex and you're not quite over things and you're struggling with your career or your family life or whatever, you're not going to be in a good place to date. So just you need to be in a good mental space. You need to be happy and content, and not need someone to be with you to make you happy, that you are already happy and content, and then bringing someone in your life will just be, icing on the cake and just make life even grander, and you'll have your best friend to hang out with. But really being positive and upbeat, not being, negative, Debbie Downer, just really, trying to friends with someone and get to know someone and be as outgoing as possible, and just try to make a new friend with anyone that you go out with.
Oh, that's really good advice. I love that. And what would you say, you spoke about exes for a second there. What would you say for someone who, has been divorced, maybe recently separated from someone? Do you have any specific advice for people who have been married before and kind of moving into that next step, whether to date or not, and get back out there?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to know when is the right time. I know you'll probably have a feeling of when you're ready to get back out there again. And like I said, you're not going to meet someone unless you put yourself out there. So, let your friends know that you're ready, and maybe they have someone for you, or they can spread the word for you, or, get yourself out there on the apps or a matchmaker, or even like picking up like golf or tennis or pickleball or just different things to get out there and meet people. Because it is hard. You may have kids or whatnot. But letting people know you're ready and you're willing, and say yes to opportunities, and say yes to people that ask you to go out to dinner, even with girlfriends, just getting out there and meeting new people different ways.
I really like that, and just being open-minded in general, because you just never know what you might miss out on if you're thinking, oh, that's not me, or that's not, you're just being open-minded. I love that. Tammi, what do you think is the biggest obstacle in dating today? I know that's probably, there might be a lot, but what do you think maybe is one big obstacle in dating today and in this day and age?
I think, with all the people that are so accessible on the apps, that it's hard to get someone to really invest or notice, because there's always somebody at your fingertips. There's somebody else at your fingertips. So I just feel like there's so many people, and people are swiping and they're talking to people, that they just feel like there's a next best person. There's just somebody else better out there. So I just feel like people don't invest their time. Like one little thing may go wrong, and then they move on very quickly, because there's so many people out there to talk to and meet with, and I feel like there's some serial dating happening that didn't used to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely different now. Okay, that's interesting. And what do you think the biggest mistake is that you see people making in dating once they start dating?
Having too many lists of needs and wants in the person you're wanting. I mean, nobody's going to be perfect. Nobody's going to fit all the boxes that you're looking for, and just being a bit more open to the possibility of, okay, this person might not fit every criteria that I've looked for, and knowing that, like, just meeting someone and giving them the opportunity, rather than, no, he's been married before and I don't want to date someone that's been married before. But, just having a more open mind to people, and seeing if there's that connection in person. That's the most important thing. So you got to give them the opportunity to do that.
Ah, got it. That's so good. And quickly, for dating, for couples who are already together, can kind of get in a rut of things. Do you have a fun date idea for someone?
Yeah, I always think like fun, outdoor, active things to do together is always a good idea. Like a little hobby, go golf, pickleball, take a bike ride to a restaurant, do an outdoor activity like, an outdoor concert, outdoor food or wine festival, music, outdoor concert, things like that. Rent a boat, have a picnic, just try to do something fun, outdoorsy, active, where you're involved together, but you're also doing something fun together.
Oh, that's fun. We have plenty of those opportunities here in Utah. If our listeners are in Utah right now, we have so many options for that. You just gave me so many ideas. That's great, Tammi. You make it fun. You make it fun, and I see why now. I mean, it just makes sense to find someone like you to help matchmake with somebody, because you do all the guesswork, and it absolutely is necessary in today's world to have all that done, just so you're safe, and we don't got time for a lot, so it makes sense. Yeah. And I think it's so smart of you. And if we want to get started, if people listening want to get started on getting their matchmaking journey going, what's the first step, and where can we find you?
Yeah, you can reach out. Our website's eliteconnections.com. You can call us, 800-923-4200. You can reach out, free consultation. We can explain everything, and we can match anyone anywhere, and we'd love to be able to help you.
Amazing. Tammi, thank you so much. I appreciate you talking with us.
Thank you.
Before we go, I want to do the Fresh 5 quickly with you. These are 5 questions. Just say what's off the top of your head. We'll get to know you a little better. Are you ready? We're going to matchmake you. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. You're driving right now. Are you listening to podcasts or music?
Music.
Okay. Your music, I like it. Okay. Are you eating fruits or vegetables? If you could only have one or the other.
Oh gosh, I'm a sweet girl, so I gotta go fruit.
Gotta have your fruits. Love it. Are you a cat person or dog person?
Dogs. I mean, I love cats, but dogs better.
Okay. And it's dinner time. What are you ordering?
Good. I love Mexican food, so I'm gonna go with tacos.
Yum. Yum. Now I'm hungry now. Thank you so much. Okay, and last one. Okay, maybe you're having dessert after your tacos. Vanilla or chocolate? Which is your dessert?
I'm gonna go vanilla.
Yum. Yum. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Tammi, thank you so much for talking with us today. And I've learned so much. I'm sure our listeners have too. And we really appreciate you. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Tammi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. Please rate, review, and subscribe. And we will see you next week. Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.